I started this on Friday, and I just stopped it after that, right? So we looked at a loan over 5 years at 3.5%, right? 31,500. There was no down payment there or anything like that. So we just figured out the monthly payment. We figured out the total paid to the bank here. And then we figured out the total interest for that loan, which was also asked of you today, okay? And that was 2,879. So now let's look at a different scenario, right? Use the car in example 1. If you decided to go with a 3-year, so we're going with a 3-year instead of a 5-year, how would your monthly payment and interest, how would the payment and interest change, right? Can you, under a 3-year loan, what you're really doing is it's a shorter, this is a, I need you to know that term. It means take less to pay. But a shorter amortization, because the bank might use that word, and I don't want you to be lost. It's just saying, what's your amortization? Like how long do you want to take to pay? That's basically what they're asking you, okay? So let's see, what do you think is going to happen if you take less time to pay it off? What's going to happen to your payment? It's going to go up, right? Because you have to pay it off faster. What about the total interest paid? It's going to be less, right? Are you just going intuition, or it kind of makes sense, right? If you take less, then it will be less money from your pocket, right? Overall. So let's explore that here. So payment is, we have the 31,500, and this is going to change. I'm going to use my red pen here. Earlier we had 1819. So let's go to page 18 and just get our rate. I'll be back, okay? So 3 years, and we match it with, what's our interest rate again? 3.5%. So interest rate is 3.5 right there. We match it with 3 years. You got it? Do yourself a favor and double check, because oftentimes students make a mistake because they rush. So, right, 2930 is the number we're after. Okay, so that is because that is a whole mark, just getting that number right. You can do everything else wrong. If you get that right, you get a full mark. And so let's figure this out. So 31,500 times 29.3. I hit equals at that point. Then I divide by 1,000. That's just a habit I have, because that works with every calculator. No matter what you have, if you multiply, hit equal, then divide, you're going to get the right answer. So that is 922.95, right? Has gone up, right? So your payment has gone up, because you can say versus 572.99, right? In A, or in question 1. So total interest paid, total amount paid to the bank. Let's do that first. Total paid to the bank, TPB, is 922.95 times 12. Always times 12, because we're talking monthly payment, times 3 years. 922.95 times 12 times 3, and that is 33,226.20. Total interest, right, over the 3 years, that is saying total interest is TI. I'm going to repeat this step, even though if you do this often enough, you will realize that it's this number that you have to bring down here. So you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I want you to actually know that just take what you paid the bank minus, watch this folks, the number you put here is always going to be what you end up with in front of that ratio you got from the table. So that is what we call our loan. Okay, so you take off the 31,500 you borrow. When you subtract those, you get 1,726 and 20 cents. Okay, 1,000. So it has gone down, right? And we just put versus, you paid 28.79.40. So how much money will you have saved? If you look at it, it's over $1,000, right? That you've saved just by paying it off a little bit faster. Okay. So this is what and I'll talk about it again. This is what I would suggest you do, because $922 is a lot of money, right? Like coming up with this much every month, yikes, right? That's a lot of money. I couldn't do it, right? So this is what I suggest you. A banker has done this, suggested this to me one time. Take out, like, let's say you want to go over 5 years, right? This is your payment. This is what the minimum you have to make. You cannot go less than this. But then you set up a second payment happening at the same time as this one for, let's say, $25 a month or $50, whatever you think you can afford. That extra payment goes towards paying it off faster. And let's say you come across a month where it's like, I can't do it. Like, I just don't have enough money. You call your bank and you tell them, cancel that second payment. I can't do it, right? They just cancel it. Not a big deal. It's not going to affect you. This one you cannot cancel, but the second payment you can. And you know what? $25 a month, I'm pretty sure you can do without. And it makes a big difference in paying it off faster and saving you money. So that's my advice to you. If you can, do it. This example 3 is a tax question. So this is one where you need to figure out the taxes as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Rare, but it does happen. Okay. Okay. 2007 Subaru at a dealership. Oh, what's that? Dealership? You're thinking 12%, aren't you? Right? You should be. It doesn't matter if it's new or used. If it's dealership, 12%. Has a base price of $13,899 before tax, right? Let's highlight the fact that that's before tax. There's a down payment of $1,800, and there's a 6.75% interest rate over 5 years. Calculate the total cost, including taxes. And so, I don't know if this is new or used. I'm just going to go with the used dealer, sorry. I will tell you for sure on a test. A used dealer, I take the 13,899 and we multiply that by, there is no trade-in, right? There's no trade-in, no parts and labor, no safety, nothing. So all you do is you take that and multiply. There are no options. So you just multiply that by 1.12. And that adds your taxes. Oops. So that is 15,566.88. This is after tax. This is the cost of the car after taxes have been applied. B is asking the loan required. Loan, right, is the price minus the down. So it's 15,566.88 minus a down payment. And you will, if you go back in my notes, I will always tell you that the down payment is always subtracted after taxes have been applied. And there we go, 13,766.88. And there's the note, right? Just reminding you, you subtract the down payment after taxes have been added. Okay. A trade-in is not like that, but a down payment is. So if somebody says, if somebody were to offer you $1,800 cash, or a car that's worth $1,800 that you can use to trade in, a trade-in would be better. It saves you some taxes. Okay. The monthly payment, let's do this. You know what? I will actually start from scratch. Like I'm going to go back to the 15,566 to this here, up here in A, and I will subtract the down payment again, just to show you that this is really the loan, right? That's what most of the time, if there's a down payment, you're going to do it like this. And we're going to go over 1,000. And let's go to page 18. You should do it with me. Let's go find our rate, that table rate that goes up here. So I'm checking 675 and 5 years. Okay. Page 17. 675 over 5 years. Go find it. 675 is right here. I'm going to travel all the way over to the end. And let's just double check. 1969. Okay. There it is. You got it. And I will actually strongly recommend, I can't make you, right? Because I strongly recommend you write this down just under here. I would strongly recommend you just go ahead and do this because this is the loan, right? It matches what we had in B anyways, but just tell yourself this is the loan and then go times 1969 divided by 1,000, not by 100, it has to be 1,000, and then you write down next to it. I would like you to all ace this part. If you have to find the payment of a car, I would like you to be really good at it. At least finding the payment, it gets you a long way already. This is monthly, okay? It's monthly. All of our payments in this unit are going to be monthly, no bi-weekly or anything like that, even though that is an option usually. Okay, let's go. The total amount paid for the vehicle. Total paid. Vehicle is also another word for car, right? Just in case my formulas throw you off. By the end of the 5 years. Please always read carefully. Don't just go total. Oh, I'm just going to go find a formula that has total in it. You're going to get it wrong. Okay, so let me where do you see that one? It's the last one here. Total paid for the car. You take your down payment and you add this portion here. Okay, you can stretch in a bit. Okay, Total paid for the car. My down payment was $1,800 plus, I'm going to put this in brackets. It's $271.07 times 12 times 5, because it is 5 years, right? I will put years on that 5 so you know that it's not always going to be 5. It depends on the situation. And that is $16,264.20, and now you can add them up like this. 18,064.20, right? So you need to factor in what you paid the bank and the down payment, right? That will be the total you actually ended up paying for that car over 5 years. Read carefully. E, how much in interest alone was paid? What formula would you use for a question phrase like that? How much in interest was paid? Which one would you use there? Is it too early to ask questions? Which formula? TI? Total interest? Would you agree with that? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Total interest is 271.07 times 12 times 5. This is also known as total paid to the bank, by the way. Right? This portion is what you paid the bank. And you take away the loan. And you get the loan. Let me go up a bit. The loan is always what you get after you subtract any down payment. It's in front of this portion. So $13,766.88. This is what we call the loan. Okay. So we get, I won't do that in one shot. So that's 16,264.20 minus minus 13,766.88, and that difference gives you 2,497.32. This is what they're after. The other word for total interest is also finance charge. Finance, something went very wrong here, hold on. Finance charge, right? Total interest, finance charge, the cost of borrowing, all the same thing. How much interest was paid in the first month? This is one that you need to make sure you get this one right, because it will happen very, very often, right? So the interest paid, highlight or underline the first month. So every month you're charged a little bit of interest, which all goes into a bag, which at the end of your loan will add up to this, right? But they take every month, they take a little bit. I'm making banks look bad. They're not bad. They make a lot of things possible for us, but they need to make money, right? So I'm not saying that they're bad. Just that's how it works. So you need to use lowercase I. That formula that I gave you, which I said is the loan times interest rate as a percent divided by 100. All of that you divide by 12. Like when you're done doing this, you need to divide that by 12. So you take your loan It's up here, 13,766.88. What happens when you go interest rate divided by 100? It just turns it. I will actually show you here. 6.75% divided by 100. All of that divided by 12. I will do it step by step because sometimes I just jump to conclusions, and students, even if you get 1 0 wrong, everything is off, right? So let's rewrite it one more time. I won't always do it like this, but this, when you divide it, you get 0.0675. Oh boy. And all of that divided by 12. Make sure you have that here at the very edge. Right? You divide by 12 at the end. So it's 13,766.88 times 0.0675. Do not cut the interest rate, right? You use all of the digits. You hit equals, then you divide by 12. And lowercase I is $77.44. And I will tell you this in red here. Has to be less than payment. Okay? If you plug in numbers and you get a value that's bigger than your payment, you're wrong, because they take a little bit of your payment for interest. So, right? They don't take more than your payment, just your payment. So at the very first month, how much are you paying again? Let's go up. You're paying $271 every month. On the first month, they will take $77.44, right? $77.44. They will take that off this and then apply the rest towards your loan that you're trying to pay off. Okay? I will add one more thing here. It's a long example for a reason. That way everything is on one page. Okay? If you add optional equipment, which costs $1,500, remember the sticker price? I have no idea, Mr. Dirksen. This weekend was like a reset button. Purchase, option, plus freight. No tax. No tax. So I got to go to my MSRP, or the base model, which was this. Way up, way at the beginning. This is the price we were given. That's the base price. And in this case, your options would be $1,500, and there is no transportation. Right? This is just to remind you. That's $15,399. And I promise you, this is the last thing on this page. Can you do this at the bottom? If you have some room here, just make a bar like this. Right? This represents your payment, which is always principal plus lowercase interest, like that. This whole bar is 271.07. So put down 271.07. How much of this bar is taken away on the first payment? It's about this much, right? About 70 bucks is taken off. So this is 77.44. That little sliver is 77.44. And you put an arrow like that. This is lowercase I. You calculated that in F, right? How would I come up with lowercase p, which is the rest here? And simple example, right? If your payment was 100 bucks, let's just make it simple. If your payment was 100 bucks and $10 was interest, 90 would go in here, right? So it's the same idea. Knowing that these two portions add up to your payment, I will just go 271.07 minus 77.44. That's how you do this part. Okay, you subtract, you take your payment, and you subtract I from it, like that interest portion that we already know what it is. 271.07 minus 77.44. So it's 193.63 that goes in here. So we just kind of took apart that payment and figured out on the first month you'd be paying $77 and something on interest and about $193 towards your loan. Okay? Leave that there. And I want you to work on pages 20 to 22. It goes to 23, but I will say I will post all the way to page 23. So if you are keen on, really getting this and getting a lot of practice in, I will get it up to 23 later on. You still have about 8 minutes. I don't know if you just get started with one question on page 20. Just get started and do a few so that the ball is rolling, and then you will have more of an incentive. Ooh, what was that? Well, that was Brian. Okay, I thought there was a power outage.